Welcome to the Cuzo to Cuzo Show, coming straight from the Windy City, with new episodes every Tuesday and Thursday, touching on topics within the social and culture community of Chicago. Follow and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcast on. Thank you. Remember to tune in Tuesday and Thursday. Here's your host, Levon, aka Cuzovon.
Thank you for tuning in today. I got a very special guest, communication coach.
Hello everyone, my name is Brenden. I'm the founder of MasterTalk. It's a YouTube channel I started to help people with their communication skills. And the reason I come on and talk to you guys is talk about the importance of communication in your lives. You know, a lot of people think, you're scared of presentations, scared of sharing your message with the world, whether it's through a radio host like Cuzo or whether it's through, a painting or art that you want to share with the world. It doesn't really matter what that thing is. I think the biggest message I want to share with all of you is if you have an idea worth sharing, you should share it. I think there's a lot of ideas in the world that don't get shared. That's why I started the YouTube channel. I wanted to make resources for people so they can learn communication for free and get access to important stuff so that they can get the right tools, even if they can't afford a speech coach, to really share some important stuff with the world. I think that's what I'm a big believer on, and that's what I'd love for all of you to do. So and I think this idea of presentations, public speaking is a lot more than just speaking out your truth. It's also interacting with the people around you. Public speaking is the dinner conversation you have with your loved ones. It's the tough conversations you have with your family. It's the guy you meet at the park from the person who delivers your pizza. Everything you do is communication. So when you start to spend more time thinking about that, that's how it improves your life. And the question I always ask a lot of people to think about is how would the world change if you were an exceptional communicator? And if you know the answer to that question, I think you'll be really successful in what it is that you do.
All
So that's
right.
it, bro.
All right, sweet. So, how long have you been doing public communication, speaking, or coaching?
Yeah, for sure, man. So I've been doing it for 5 years, but I started YouTube 2 years ago to share the ideas with people who couldn't afford me. So I've been coaching probably, 5 years full time, 3 years of those years. I wasn't on YouTube. It was mostly just, I was coaching high level people around the globe. But then I had the idea for the channel because I was like, hey, wait a second. What about people who can't afford this kind of stuff? I want to make sure they have access to this kind of information. So that's what led to me starting the channel.
All right, sounds great. So, what can they find you at? Like, if it's not on YouTube, what other platform could they find you on?
Yeah, YouTube's definitely the easiest one because that's what I spend most of my time on. So that's Master Talk in one word. But yo, if you want to message me directly, you can do that on Instagram too. My handle for that is Master Your Talk. But yeah, Master Talk is where you'll find most of the stuff. And if you have any questions, don't be shy to message me. And yeah, let's do it, man.
All right. So, what steps do you take if someone is new to public speaking, but in their mind they want to do it, but they so how do you get them prepared to get on the stage? Like steps 1 through 10, or you just give us a few, 1 through 5, 1 through 10, just a
Yeah,
quick.
absolutely, man. Yeah, I'll give you the biggest trick that I think will help a lot of people. And this doesn't even apply if you're on stage. Any presentation you give, or even if you're a podcast host, you can do this as well. And it's called the puzzle method. So public speaking is a lot like a jigsaw puzzle. You know those toy puzzles you used to as a kid? Gonna put them in a piece together. So if I asked you, Cuzo, let's say you're working on this puzzle yourself, which pieces would you start with first and why?
9 times out of 10, I start from the some either one corner or the other, and then I work my way in.
I love
Like
it.
so.
And what's the rationale?
Could you repeat that?
Yeah, what's the reason? Like what's your
Oh,
thought process?
because I feel like once I get the borders and the perimeter, it'd be much easier to fill in, the other pieces around or within the puzzle itself. It was just
Abs-
like it's a little hint. My auntie used to do puzzles, so I used to sit back and watch us do 5,000 piece puzzles, and she put them on a cardboard. And hang them up through our house. So I just
Jeez,
took that. I just took that. Like that was her like her little hobby that she used to do.
that's awesome, man. I love that. So the question we need to ask ourselves is why don't we do that in public speaking? We have a presentation at work, in the boardroom, in the conference room. So what do? We start the middle. We shove a bunch of content in our presentations. We ramble through the entire thing. We get to the last slide. It sounds something like this. Yeah, so thanks. That's probably like 95% of the presentations I see. There's an easy way to fix this, man. Start with the edges first, like a jigsaw puzzle. Practice your introduction 50 times. Not 3 times, not 5 times. Do it 50 times. It's actually not that hard. It'll take you an hour, right? Because each introduction is a minute. It's not that
Okay.
hard. Say the conclusion. What's a great movie with a terrible ending? Last time I checked, terrible movie. The same thing, man.
Yeah.
50 times. Easy. In 2 hours of practice, you'll look at your presentation and go, wow, this is actually pretty dope. Like I presented this introduction 50 times, really good at it. Same thing with the conclusion, really good at it. Now you have that confidence you didn't have before. And then you can master the content. But like puzzles, man. Who does puzzles on their own? Nobody I know. You got 5,000 pieces, your grandma's going to have a hard time getting all those done together. So you bring a team together. You get some family, you get some friends, you get a community. Do the same thing with public speaking. When you tackle the content, get a couple of buddies together, get a group together, work on it as a team, and you'll be able to succeed.
Okay. So it's almost like a comedian show, a comedy show, like how they bring one comedian on and then he do his time instead of having one on the stage speaking for hours. They dice it up. You get your show your stage time. He get his stage time. Pretty much is what you're saying. The more, the merrier.
100%, bro. Exactly.
All right. So like just say like if I was talking to you and like every word I was like, yeah, and I went to the store, and then we was talking about this, and yeah, how would you coach someone through that to speak
Yeah, for
more
sure.
naturally?
Absolutely, man. So now we need to ask ourselves first why we say filler words. Why do we say blah blah? The reason we do that, bro, is because we're trying to buy time. So you ask me a question, I go, yeah, here's my answer. But what the best speakers in the world do is they still buy the same amount of time. But the difference is that they say nothing to buy time. They pause. And that's what the best speakers don't tell you is that we can pause forever without ever making it seem awkward. And that's the secret. If you want to master public speaking, if you want to master getting rid of your filler words, you need to replace those filler words with silences, with nothing. That's how you get better. That's how you improve over time. And that's my recommendation for all of you. So when you think about your filler words, you need to start getting better at pausing uncomfortably long. So one advice I have is do long stares. Go up to somebody that in your house and stare at them for 5 minutes. No phone. You can blink, but no other distractions. You can't talk either. It's really hard to hold the gaze for that long. Most people can't do it. And that's the secret. So if you start doing that and you're able to make it to 5 minutes, when you go back to your real conversations and you're pausing for 2, 3, or 5 seconds, it's easy for you to replace your filler words with pauses, and that's how you get rid of them.
Oh, sweet. Never knew that. Just pause, play.
That's it, bro. Pause,
That's
play.
it.
I like play. Pause, play. That's cool, man.
Okay, pause, play. So, what would you tell an individual once they, all right, they got that out the way, the pause, the after every, instead of putting that or in between, once they master that, is it a certain way that they project their voice to be heard to the back, or how would you do that if someone's soft speaking or have a soft voice?
Yeah, it's a good question. I wouldn't worry too much about it. I think the first step for those types of speakers is to present to smaller rooms. Present in front of 5, 10 people, gain that confidence, and then over time you can practice voice projection. The way you do it is very simple. Put yourself in a room where you're practicing your yelling. So one example of that I use this for fun in my channel that works really well is karaoke. Karaoke is a weird safe space where everyone's allowed to yell and nobody cares if you yell. Whereas if you just walked on the street and started yelling, people are gonna say, "Oh, is this guy crazy?" But if you're doing karaoke, you can just yell all the time. So that's a great way I've seen introverts get much better at voice projection.
Okay, so what would you tell someone when they first starting off? Is it better to listen or be the more aggressive speaker? Because sometimes you learn more when you just listen than actually speaking or over speaking. So what would be your advice for that?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think for me, the key to mastering presentations is to first understand what you're comfortable with, right? As an introvert, as an extrovert, you have your own advantages as a speaker, right? Some of you might be more shy, but you're better listeners. Some of you might be more loud like me, but terrible listeners. Right? So what you need to do is you need to say, what can I learn from the other person? If you're shy, you're good at listening, take more risk, be a bit more loud. If you're an extrovert and you're loud, say, what can I learn from the introvert? How can I be a better listener? How can I engage more instead of just repelling other people? That's a one way of thinking about it.
All right. So just say like if you giving a speech, if I give you a word, could you like give us like a 2 minute speech? If I give you something to speak about?
Yeah, absolutely. There's actually an exercise on this that I do called the random word exercise. So essentially what this is every day you can practice this. You pick a couple of random objects in your house and you create a presentation out of thin air. And this really improves your confidence over time. Yeah, try it on me. Give me any word.
All right. Mm, what's a what? Let me see. Let me see. What's a good word? Uh, Sports.
Sure. As I'm standing on the field and I look at the morning rise of the sun, I notice my team, my amazing sports team that encouraged me to do amazing things in life to achieve greater things. What a lot of people miss about sports is it's not about being at baseball or basketball or soccer or football or rugby. Sports is about companionship. It's about building community, that feeling when you have in a 10,000 person stadium screaming out your favorite team, that feeling when you go at a bar after the game's over and you have a conversation that lasts for hours, or even the chicken wings that you buy during the Super Bowl. Sports is about community. It's about bringing people together and creating an experience that lasts. So I encourage you all the next time you'll hear your favorite sport, don't just see it as a way to get exercise. See it as a way to bring the best people around you together to share an experience that matters.
There you go, guys. Hey, off the top, I just gave him a word and put it together. It's 100% like you thought it was an advertising commercial for it that quick. Like it's that easy. Hey, he been doing it. So hey, it been proven that his strategy, his teaching works.
I appreciate it, brother.
Yeah. I mean, I just gave you a word and you did it. So hey, they can't
Yeah,
say, "Oh, he's making it up." It's not. It's for anyone. He letting you guys know he's there. So tune in on his YouTube channel, his Instagram, and we will drop that at the end of the episode. It will be tagged in the video as well. Follow them, subscribe, like, comment.
I appreciate it, brother. Thanks for the support.
Yeah, same. Like I hope everything goes well, and I'll have you back on the show in the near future, and we to chop it up again.
Sounds good, brother. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you for coming out.
You too, brother. Have a happy new year, eh?
Yeah, same to you. Be safe. Mask up. It's
Yeah,
kind of
for sure, man.
yeah, it kind of sound crazy. Mask up, like everyone look like a bank robber. Yeah, but be
Cool, man.
safe. So,
Sounds good, bro.